Well, folks, here we are, back in America. Luis and I. It was a long trip from the Grand Cayman. And Tuesday will be the 4th of July. I know very little, and I guess Luis knows nothing at all about the 4th of July. We do know about independence in Trinidad.
Yes, I am.
So I would like to, my friends gathered here, no names involved, no nationalities involved, but just talking about what does the 4th of July mean to some folks here in the States. So who would like to start, please? You'll hear the voices, you won't see the faces, but it will be interesting to know how this thing began, this 4th of July, and what it really means to some people and what it doesn't mean to some people.
Well, for one thing, to me,
Just raise your voice, please, huh?
for one thing, what it means to me, it's like most holidays. We're very happy for the holidays, and we appreciate this country for what we have. Because when you travel to different places and you see how much more we have, privileges, blessings than other countries, there's a lot to appreciate. And there's been many struggles and many things to overcome. And we actually see this country sliding back now after many things have been accomplished. But to me, I never like to group everybody together because there are a lot of people in this country who have been very, very, very good people. Black, white, of every nationality. And then there are some who have grown up with hatred and have never had good feelings towards us and appears like they never will. And so this country has a sort of double personality. And so when you were asking before about the history and the 4th of July, one of the things that I realize is that when I was going to school and we used to learn about history, even as a child, I realized some of the things, it's like saying 2 and 3 makes 4. It didn't make sense to me. They were telling us things that did not calculate, and I knew it as a child. And so from a young child, I was not very interested in history because I knew it wasn't being truthfully told. And then later on in my life, I was in a program, and we had a teacher that had a very profound effect on me. And he did a little experiment. And about that time, there was a lot of protesting. This was in the 60s. A lot of protesting. They had what they call Students for Democratic Society, SDS. And I was going to this little program up at Columbia University. And the teacher asked us to do something. He says, I want each one of you to bring a different newspaper. And so one would bring the New York Post, another one would bring the Mirror, another one would bring the New York Times, another one would bring the Daily News. And it was just so we had so many different newspapers. And then we said, let's read the same story in each newspaper. And one of the stories we were reading about were some of the things that we were experiencing right on the campus of Columbia University. So you had this. We would see with our own eyes thousands of people demonstrating. One newspaper would say a few people gathered at Columbia University. Another one would say a few hundred. Another one, and it was just such a difference in what each newspaper would say. And then they would use, in relating the stories, a few rabble rousers. Another one would use other different words. And we realized, wow, you can't even trust the newspapers. And it sort of solidified what I was suspecting and thinking from I was a child. Why would you expect me to believe what was written how many hundreds of years ago when I can't even believe what's in the papers on today? Because everybody has their, they want something out of what they're writing, their point of view. Everybody has I can't think of
Agenda?
their agenda.
Different opinion.
You know? And so I said to myself, well, I think I was on the right track. And so you realize if you really want to know about something, you have to do some diligent research. And then you can find out what really, not the emotional aspect, but the facts are. And so I started thinking in those terms. And so even now we have a governor in Florida, and he is desperately trying to change how our history, how black history is taught in the schools. And he's only worried about our history. He's not worried how the other histories of the different nationalities are taught, how the Holocaust, how other events. He just seems to be focused on black history, like we're making people feel too guilty, like they were the reason why black people had to suffer so much. But you can only hide history, but so much. And but I am very glad that there are so many good people in this country. I'm really glad for that. I've known so many upright and good people that I never want to lump them into those who have discriminated against us and who have tried to rewrite history where we are written out of history. The slaves had a large part in building this country. And then the system that was in place, it didn't just take away your privileges and your financial gain or anything. It destroyed family. And when you see so many people acting the way they behave in this country, black people or African Americans, or what you want to call them, if you investigate, you realize there's a reason. Because when you destroy people's history and you destroy them having any sense of identity, any sense of self-esteem, you know, this is what it produces. It produces a lot of people who hate or who have a low self-esteem and act in a particular way that not even I like. So with those things in mind, I don't know where we will ever reach in this country, because we seem to go 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But we have things are very different, great improvements since I was a young boy. So we have to live in hope and be optimistic. But I never want to become bitter, because this is a very privileged country. And I don't know where else we would have gotten such great opportunities as we have in this country.
Thank you very much. Madam, excuse me, would you have something to say about this 4th of July celebration that is right on our doorstep here?
Not too much. For me, holidays are more about family. And coming from a big family, we get together as much as we can. Some holidays, people will travel, take the plane wherever, and we get together. And as we have gotten older, it means more and more to us. But not to take away, as Ralph was saying, for the benefits and the privileges that I have enjoyed becoming a naturalized citizen, and the opportunities.
Excuse me, can I just focus on you? You don't mind if I do that?
No.
Because I'm tired of seeing myself here.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't focus on me. Focus
And
on
I'm not too pretty.
Focus on Louise.
You want to just exchange seats with Louise briefly, and then when I'm ready for you to come back?
You want pretty faces.
Excuse me, because I don't like how I look in this. Oh, no, I feel happy about it.
Oh, yes. Look at that
Have your
beautiful
beloved
couple.
next to you.
So now you're saying, please excuse, you're saying now that you've been naturalized?
Yes, I would never want to be a miss and not talk about the benefits, going to school, bettering myself, and all the many opportunities that I may not have had otherwise. And so with that in mind, we have a love for this, our second country, I guess you could say, and an appreciation. But nationalism doesn't always lead to unity, and I don't usually go too much down that road. But the road of family and friends and enjoying the good times and appreciating each other is what most holidays mean for us. And July 4th wouldn't be any different. We enjoy the fireworks. Sometimes you just have to sit in your yard and you see the most beautiful fireworks. When the children were younger, we would take them to the parks or by the water and they would set them off, and it's happy. It's a happy time. And so it's filled with good memories. And so we have enjoyed that, and we'd like to continue to enjoy it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Vita?
Your time.
Oh, you're looking right close. You're across there, man.
All right, okay.
No. You go back there now. You go back there by Louise there now. You go back by Louise. No, here.
Oh, here.
Yeah. So I can still focus on Louise, you know.
All right.
Center of attention.
The center of attention.
Your fingers.
Sorry.
So yeah, my take is I moved here from another country and do enjoy a lot of the benefits of this country, and I've seen some of the ills, but they have not really affected me in any way. As a matter of fact, I was once told by someone that, "Oh, you guys from the country I'm from, we appreciate it better than the people of our country," and it's something you would want to frown against, because I don't know I'm different, but yeah, I do enjoy all the benefits. Now, as for 4th of July, it's celebrating most of the achievements of this country, like they're showing the military hardware flying over the sky and fireworks and that. I'm not really accustomed to those things, so I pretty much just enjoy the holiday itself, that I'm not at work. And as we've known, it's really a time for family to get together with barbecue, or we want to go someplace where we can enjoy ourselves. But it doesn't mean as much to me as if I was an American, because they are celebrating the country's achievement of independence, and so I live here. I guess I could celebrate, but I just enjoy myself and family rather than the country itself in those things. I don't go to any special event. I know a lot of people who go to where they have these air shows and enjoy these air shows, and I don't have anything against that. I just, it's not my thing really. But I'm glad for the holiday, and as living here, all the benefits and things that are here that I could not have enjoyed at home. My home country, that is. So I enjoy it here, and I'll enjoy their holidays, whichever one it be, even those that replace the ones I'm accustomed to. But that's about it for me where 4th of July is concerned.
Very good. Thank you. Well, we came back yesterday from Grand Cayman, and we had an hour delay at the airport there, and it was quite interesting to see the collection of people, you could say, gathered in that lounge. People of all colors, you could put it that way, and a lot of anxieties over delays in different airlines. But what was interesting to me is the long walk that we had from the lounge to the aircraft. We walked out, and we had a long walk up a ramp, and then we turned left and got to the plane. And back home in Trinidad, when you're going to Tobago, you have a long walk also to the Tobago aircraft, and you have a steep climb up into the aircraft. So my mind was, taking in that some countries really have modernized facilities for boarding the aircraft and disembarking. And I was asking my friend there, tell me a little bit about these, what do you call it, the air bridge?
Jet bridges or passenger loading bridges.
Passenger loading bridges. For some reason, we call it the chute. CHUT, the chute, right? And that's because you're not familiar with the terms, right?
Yes.
But it's quite convenient to have these passenger loading bays. But was it always like that in the States, that you always had this? I mean, how long ago would you say that these came about?
I'm not too sure, but I would say somewhere in the 50s.
In the 50s?
Sure.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, but we came in much later
Oh,
than
it
that.
must be almost
Or maybe the 60s.
2000.
No, not 2000, man. More than that. But it's quite
User friendly.
user friendly. Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But tell me, you worked in that circle, right?
Yes.
Okay, you've had some years, about 30 years, you said?
30 and a half years.
And what was it like operating you were in that facility that managed the loading, the air bridge?
Yes.
Were there any mishaps along the way? Because I noticed the plane has to be guided right there.
Yes.
Precision has to be, but were there ever any incidents whereby the plane might have hit that or something went wrong?
Oh, yes. We've seen many different incidents because remember, it's a man made piece of equipment.
Yes.
And sometimes when the ground crew are bringing in the aircraft, sometimes they haven't been careful, and the bridge is not supposed to go to the plane until the bridge is chocked. In other words, secured. And sometimes they have not secured it properly, and the plane moves, and because of it, just like having a car in neutral, you could say, and there's been because of that, the bridge has damaged the aircraft. Then you have an auto leveling system. That's the most frequent way of damaging the aircraft, is if that system of leveling the bridge to the movement of the plane as the weight of the plane changes. When weight is taken off of the plane, the strut goes up. When people and cargo are put on the plane, that strut goes down. And so that bridge has to be able to constantly
Flexible.
be flexible to keep up with that movement. And if it doesn't, which many times happens, I shouldn't say many times, but that is one of the frequent things that happens that causes damage, then it will damage the door of the aircraft. And once that door of the aircraft is damaged, that plane cannot fly.
Wow.
Serious.
And we have sometimes the gate agents, that's the airline's agent. They are responsible for moving that bridge and docking it on the aircraft. And if they don't do it properly, they can go right into the side of the aircraft and damage it, which has happened.
Who gets compensated at that point? Who compensates who?
Well,
Insurance.
if the aircraft is damaging, if the airline agent damages their own aircraft, they're responsible. Matter of fact, yeah, but there have been times now when we've had different things go wrong, like the wheels. The wheels turn a certain amount to the left, and then there's a limit. It goes a certain amount to the right, and there's a limit. And sometimes the adjustment of how fast those wheels go is not working because of the electronics or the hydraulics involved, and that wheel will go past the limit and turn right around, and then now it's up against the aircraft, but the wheels are in the wrong direction.
Wow.
And so they call us now, and they say, okay, we need to get this off the aircraft. Trying to get that off the aircraft in that manner, sometimes we are exposed to liability. And so that's why sometimes we'll ask them to turn the wheels of the aircraft and push it away manually, you could say. And then we try to repair or adjust the jet wing.
Well, you see, this is good information for the traveling public. Eh? I mean, you get on a plane, you take everything for granted.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes, eh?
Sure.
Ralph, no, just now I won't get Lance to travel at all, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
This is more information for Lance to not to want to travel. You know.
Well, I'll tell you something. Yeah.
Lance usually think about the plane coming down. But why you telling them they're sure?
I can't even get off the plane. Can't even get off the plane, right? But I know when we were coming, well, funny things happen. Eh? Louise and I believe in this 50-50 marriage business, right? Sometimes it works 60-40. It depends on who gets the 40, right?
But I tell you, the last time the hamburger was 90-10. Eh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'll tell you, when we were leaving Trinidad, the funny thing about it is that I don't know how we came up for a random search, right?
You.
I came up for a random search, and I couldn't believe it. I was to come wheelchair service, and I decided I'm going to test my strength and see if my back can hold out. And then I realized I'm up for a random search, and I had to laugh because, like, they target elderly folk.
Oh, they target and kids. They target people who have had their limbs, what they call
Prosthesis? Yeah, prosthetic, yeah.
Yes, they
People
figure.
of all different ilks and all different medical conditions. And
Okay.
they're not as sympathetic or compassionate sometimes as they should be.
Right, well. So they pulled me out of the
But
line.
you know, it is computerized. It's on your
I don't know,
board.
they single you out. They're ready to, I don't know how it works, but as
So
you
it's
say,
computer generated.
yeah, but they know who, because I mean, they say, if I have a prosthetic leg and they single me out, I will say, how did they know that? Right? So there must be a device. I mean, people out there who know and might be hearing this would come up with something.
I was targeted once, and it's unbelievable. I have cancer. I've had 2 operations. So, they're patting me down and they feel these scars.
Yeah.
They want to know why I have these scars. I found it funny. I asked the guy, do you think I'm hiding something in there? So she said, no, I have 2 cancer operations. And so these are the scars from those 2 operations. This one is from a small intestine and this one from my liver.
They probably
And they
said,
said, go on.
they probably said, this man willing to cut up his body just to carry the stuff.
Unfortunately, for every situation, there have been people who have taken advantage of their disability. And they may
Yeah.
take that same prosthetic leg and stuff something in there they shouldn't.
Just say for Paul.
Make it difficult for the next person to come along.
Exactly, yes. So anyway, the 50-50 man get pulled aside.
So they pulled me aside and they well,
Robin Dog man.
rub me down and thing. So anyway, so she laughed at me, and she really laughed at me. I said, well, how did they know? And I saw these 4 S's on my boarding pass. Okay. So then I had to, we requested a wheelchair service for me when we get up in Trinidad, Piago, and again in Fort Lauderdale, right?
Yeah.
So when we get to Fort Lauderdale, I didn't take that wheelchair service in Piaco. And Louis says, listen, these big airports, they have a lot of walking to do. So I need you to go wheelchair. Okay. I feel kind of funny about it. But the guy who was in charge...
So then Louis decide, Lancy going to ride limousine. I take a wheelchair too.
So she now decides that when I'm sitting in the wheelchair in Fort Lauderdale, and the guy is there, a Barbadian descent it seems, and okay, he's very nice, very polite and whatnot, and Louis says she wants wheelchair also. So he's pulling both of us along like, horse and carriage. But we don't know how to tip this man, right? We didn't find out how to tip this man. So we're going along. The next thing I know is good service, eh? Come down in the elevator, go through immigration.
We bypass all the big lines. Like
All the big lines,
yesterday.
Yeah, good man. 50-50 working real great. So here we are now, and we go and we get the.
So the man said he needs to identify the luggage.
So I get out of my
Nancy
wheelchair.
jumps out of his wheelchair.
I go now.
Luggage.
And when I come back, she's sitting in the wheelchair. So now I'm walking out with the luggage and she's riding the wheelchair.
And the joke about it is now, Lancy tipped the man $40.
Yeah. No, the fella to me, like he deserved this $40, right? But I'm thinking $40, okay? And the fella is really nice, real polite and thing. We shake hands, we the only thing we didn't do was kiss, right? But the guy, the fella was really happy, and I was warm to his generosity and his kindness and whatnot. Good.
The one he walk out in the airport.
Yeah, so Louis, that was a big joke for Louis. Huh? So yesterday now, we're coming in, and Louis is saying, you know something, you should ride the wheelchair. I said, no, I'm not going to give you $40 because you're going to be laughing at me all the way back to Trinidad.
Because this $40 was debated by Sidoni.
Yes.
We gone up to Jacksonville. I say, you all really feel it's so much money you're supposed to tip? They said, no, it's $10 and $50.
Yeah.
I say, well, my husband tipped $40.
One man said he would give $5, and I gave $40.
I
But
said, if life continue like that, with all this wheelchair we had to use, all the money finished.
so yeah.
Shopping money jumping up and tips.
So yesterday now, I decided I braving this thing now. I pull in 2 bags and I have a backpack on my back. Eh? And it's a long walk, boy. And it's a long walk. And I got onto one of these things, you know, that this thing.
The moving walkway.
But the moving thing moving so slow, like almost I say, you should take me wheelchair. You should take me wheelchair. You should take me wheelchair. But this thing is crazy, you know. So we go in there and I'm walking and my back is breaking and I say, my goodness, I think I must have walked about a mile and a half. I'm sure, eh? But at the rate we were walking, it might be 2 miles, right?
And listen, and I am saying, Lancy, look, we passing the next bathroom.
Yeah. She needs to go to the restroom, right? And I said, no, we can get lost here. Let's keep going. Yeah, you know, and it's a long way. Anyway, partners, we finally get down there and we're going through immigration to get the bags. And I see only 3 bags by carousel number 7. And I say, that has to be our 3 bags. And I'm thinking now that Yvonne and Ralph are outside. My goodness, I got to get to them. But, okay, Louise, you go to the restroom first. I go second, right?
Strategic planning.
Man, I tell you, it was something else. Anyway, but when we were leaving Grand Cayman, did I say this? They pulled Louise aside because she had 4 S's on her boarding pass. And I say, 50-50, boy. I laughed. I say, good, you laughed at me in Trinidad, but look at me here now. And Louise can't understand why they pulled me aside. But as you say, you know, elderly folk look suspicious. You know, right, not true?
Especially when they're looking Christian-like.
You got something to hide, right? Oh, it was something else. But we managed to survive, and then we
And
walked.
there it was Yvonne, man, waiting on us patiently while my boy fighting up in the traffic, studying which shortcut he could take.
Miami is quite a place to come up from Miami airport.
Yeah, boy, that was an experience.
Yes.
But
Well,
anyway, it was well worth it because here we are sitting happily together.
That's right.
And
Yeah,
it was just wonderful to be here.
yes. And we have some wonderful visitors this morning.
Yes, man.
Feel at
One
home,
happy family.
You just feel at home, right?
Yeah,
Good. You go feel at home, man.
Have you ever flown into Atlanta?
No.
Oh, okay. Don't do that in Tulsa.
Make sure you get your wheelchair.
Yeah.
Make sure you get to reach
If you think you walk in Miami,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna walk 10 miles easy in Atlanta.
Serious? Why? Why is that now?
It's spread out all over the place. And you could walk till you want to drop.
Oh
Wow.
boy.
But you can take the movers.
Yeah, but sometimes if you don't know where you're going, or the airport is new, you don't know what mover to take.
Movers, eh? What do they call movers?
It's like a bus, but it's on the rail, and you're going to it, and it take you to whatever place you're going.
So you have to know where you're going.
Yeah, but I mean,
Atlanta is the hub for Delta Airline, and Delta Airline is one of the big airlines.
That's
So
one of their big hubs.
yeah. So what happened? This airport just keep growing and growing till
Right.
it cross it actually cross a highway.
is it the biggest?
Whoa.
Yeah, so cause like if you're driving, cause I drive a big truck, you drive one of these big things, and I was like,
right
what
up
is
there.
this? It's part of the runway you're driving on. So one part of the airport over, so one part over south. They cross over the interstate.
Wow, wow, wow.
It's, oh man, that place is.
I think we'll settle for Tobago. Beautiful Tobago.
No.
One ferry.
Don't let Ralph frighten you about
One
that.
15-minute journey by
shoot,
air. No.
Put us out of business.
Oh boy. Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed this. I look forward to July the 4th,
Yeah.
wherever that is.
Be sure to look at some fireworks.
Fireworks. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see it anywhere you are.
All right. Thank you very much, folks.
Very good.